Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? I have messy hands again, glue on my hands. I have texture paste on my hands. I have this new texture paste, the grave, on my hands. It's just a lot of stuff on my hands, which means I've had an awesome day. So I hope you're all doing well. And I just had such a blast doing my watercolor class yesterday, which was a live event in front of other people, live human beings in person. Three people joined in on Zoom, and it was just heartwarming. I was just so happy yesterday. And so I've been riding that wave, that high. And then this morning, I realized I have a good 5 hours and I didn't have anything else planned. So I figured I'd do some more playing. And I've had these mica stains with me now for a couple of days from Tim Holtz. They're his new line of distress mica stains. They just looked so amazing when he did his demo. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I had to get them, and I only make an exception for Tim. I have not purchased any other thing, but I will make an exception for him because his products, every time he does a demo, it's like, I want that. No, I need that. So that's really what happened. I don't have any of his other distress sprays, so I don't know how sprays work. I don't know how they interact, but because it was a limited time thing that he was promoting and showing, and once sold, it was kind of going to go. There's that pressure you feel, right? Oh my goodness, I'm never going to find this again. So I bought it, and then I didn't know what to do with it because everything he does is gold. And when I try copying someone else's style, his or anybody else's, I realize it's not ever the same. I get caught up in trying to create something similar, and I'm very bad at copying. So I just have to do my own things. I have to take a step back, give myself some space, give myself some time, and then decide how I want to approach a particular product that I have bought. That's exactly what happened with this. So after about a couple of days of sitting in a box, I finally opened the mica stains today, and the distressed mica stains, and again, didn't have any idea what I was going to do. So this project, which ultimately became a book, it says very, very clearly, I'd like to announce I have no idea what I'm doing. And that is the absolute 100% truth. So I'm going to walk you through this, but I do want to share that I had no idea what I was doing, totally out of my comfort zone while doing this. And I just decided to go for it and see what happens. So I shared stills of what the sheets looked like. So what I did was I took my 8.5 by 11 paper, and I usually trim it. So it's usually halved. And so I have these halves always ready to play. So all I did was use some washi tape. I had some thin washi tape, and I covered up the edges. So basically created a border. And then I took the splat box and just started spraying the sprays, the spray stains. And they are different. I've never worked with sprays, so it was interesting because they just, some parts splattered, some parts just stayed as blobs, some parts mingled and merged and blended, and some just kind of stood out. So it was interesting to watch that. And there were times when I was just spraying and just looking at it and watching all that movement of the pigments and trying to see, okay, what do I do next? So it took me about 40 minutes to do 5 backgrounds, which is unusually long for me. But once I had the backgrounds, then I knew what I was doing. So that process went really fast. I'm not saying that to say that, I'm not stressing on the speed factor, just because I don't like to think when I'm playing. So my process usually is very intuitive and goes fast. But because I was trying a new medium, it was more of, okay, step back, see what it's doing, see what you can do next. And that's exactly what happens. As I walk you through, I'll show you how I played, what my play looked like today. And I'm still peeling off some of this grit paste from my fingers. I really need to wash my hands. Okay, so that's what happened. And then when I had those backgrounds, the 4¼ by 5.5 sheets were all backgrounds, were done. I decided I wanted to fold them and stick them together into a book. And I'm going to be continuing to be out of my comfort zone and try something that I haven't tried again, that I have had for a while. I've had this set of, what are they called? Snarky, small talk. I've had this for close to a year. I've barely used any of them because they're really like, they're not, I'm not going to stick any of these sentiments onto a card. They're just too snarky for that. I'm not that snarky in real life. So it was hard for me to figure out what to do with them. So I figured, since I'm using all Tim Holtz products, let me make this a Tim Holtz book, with all the new products that I haven't used, and also products that I've had for a while but haven't used, and everything that puts me out of my comfort zone. So that's where this happened. I'll take my face out so you can get the full screen. Or let me do a picture in picture, because I do like doing a picture in picture. There. So you still get to see me. Okay, so this is the book I made. I'd like to announce I have no idea what I'm doing. Now this and the back cover, which says if you met my family, you would understand. They are basically the same cardstock sheet cut into two parts. And what I did was sprayed with a mica spray first, the spray stain. And then I used a stencil on top, which is why you see, I mean, look at the shimmer on this. It's just so amazing to me how shimmery these spray stains are. And then I did some marks with a black pen. I tried to add some of these, what are they called? Glitter, Nightfall. Completely failed at that. It's supposed to be for Halloween, but I was just having fun. And then I used this stencil. This is also a Tim Holtz stencil, the minis. These are for tags. So when I bought them a while ago because I wanted to do gel plate printing and do tags with them. And I thought this would be perfect because they're the same size as a tag. But yeah, I hadn't used them. So that's why I used that with the new Grave texture paste. So you can see the raised effect. I'll bring it closer so you can really appreciate how much. So this is kind of a matte feel, and this is all glittery and shiny over here. It's really, really cool. I just love that. And these marks you see are with distress crayons, which is my fingers are kind of like this. So I've just been taking the distress crayon, making the marks and smushing it around, which is what that is. And then when you open the book, I want you to know that someone cares. And I love that I found this paper that says, "Take root in the truth." This book is just phenomenal. I love what happened here. So again, I made the background, and this is me getting over my fear of making faces. All of you know I don't do faces. I think I'm getting to a point where I should stop saying I don't do faces. Would you agree? I think I'm kind of getting there where I should stop saying that I can't do faces, that I don't do faces, because I really think that I am getting better at it. And that I'm being able to make faces that kind of look decent, right? So I'm going to stop saying that. Okay, so that's the first page. And again, the same thing. I'm actually just looking to see on my laptop if this was working. So again, the same thing. I sprayed everything. So there's no acrylic paint in this. There's no ink blending of any sort. It's just sprays. The background is entirely created of sprays. Even the stenciling here, I just placed the stencil on top and sprayed. And I mean, this is just so cool. It's just all sprays. It's such less work when you spray is what I realized, because all you're doing is spraying. And then once I had my sprays, I did my mark making, which I normally do on a background. Added my black pen, my distress crayon. I might have done a bit of distress ink re-inker for the splatters here. That was it. And then I started sketching the face out like I normally do with the Derwent Intense pencil. So I sketched the face out. I did some watercoloring, basically spreading that Derwent Intense pencil out. And I did use a couple of these Jane Davenport pastels for the face, for the contouring, but a very, very small amount of these, not a whole lot. Really what I did was use my distress crayons. So there's like shades of blue and shades of whatever coral this is. Let's see, abandoned coral, and then the brown. And basically just smushed all of that around to give the contours of the face and the hair. And that kind of set her apart from the background. So the whole thing was a background, and then there was a face, and now it's kind of set apart. And I love that I was able to add this snarky comment over here that says, "This is my cup of care." Oh, look, it's empty. Oh, this is so snarky. And then I added some texture with the grit paste over here. So that was my walkthrough, and it's pretty much the same for every page. If there's something different, I'll let you know. Okay, next page. Same exact thing, but look at this. I mean, oh, I'm so in love with these distress mica stains. This is just glorious. It's just, in person, it's even more intense and just absolutely beautiful. And of course, because I always have paint on my fingers, I cannot have, to save my life, as a plain white strip. So I'm gonna have to find my eraser that erases the distress inks to try to make this white again. But maybe I shouldn't, because it says I would like to confirm that I do not care. So what the heck? I don't have to make it white again. Go with what this page is telling me, right? So here, the blobs that you see, those big red blobs, they are from Distress Ink Re-Inker. So I sprayed the sprays and then I decided to experiment and see if I could drop some just from the dropper, the re-inker, and see how it plays. It didn't really, there was no movement. I spritzed water on it too, there was no movement still. So I just took my finger and just kind of made circles. And then started adding the distress circles and the distress squares, the crayons. And then I put the stencil back up again and did the yellow mica stain. I forget what the name is, but these are all the new ones. And that's kind of the gold shimmer that you get in this page. And then same thing with the face that I did with the last one. And this page came together. Then for the next one, I used the greens. My grit paste is still not dry, which is what you see me flaking away, but that's my next page. And this one says, words cannot express how much I just don't care. I'm so in love with this book. This is so not what I imagined would happen today, but this is what happened today. So I just kept an open mind and I was playing, and these brush strokes you see here are with this dagger brush, again with some whatever distress ink I had over here. I just picked that up and did this. Same thing with the face, nothing really new. I could, at one point I was thinking I should, and then I forgot. I could add some sparkle over here for this part of what looks like her dress. What happened here was that I had added the stencil mark. So this is through the stencil with a marker. And then that stencil mark was over here and was looking a bit odd. So I just ended up making like a flourish on her dress, if you will. And I could actually go back in there and add some sparkle to it, but I didn't yet. I was just so excited to share this with you because I'm like, this is so not what I had in mind. And again, the shimmer in this, it's like every single page has so much shimmer. It's amazing. Next page. My level of sarcasm has gotten to the point where I don't even know if I'm kidding or not. I just love these snarky comments. And again, the same process as before. I'm finding stuff like stuck to this that shouldn't be stuck here. Okay. And then I did do some mark making. If you've noticed, I don't know if you have, I forgot to point that out. But every single face has a distinct mark. So I just kind of made that like the USB of the faces, that every single face has something different. Again, you know, something that you would notice if you pay close attention, something that you might skip the first time that you look at this book. And so this one too, it's like every single one of them has some kind of a marking on their face. Same thing over here. This one got an additional love on the eye over there, but yeah, basically the same technique. And then I think this is the last page. I admit that my weirdness is above the national average, but I'm comfortable with that. This I can subscribe to. I'm okay with that. And again, the same, you can see the sheen and just how beautiful this is. I just loved making these backgrounds. I had so much fun exploring something new. And then I don't know if you noticed, but on this first page here, I had stuck, I want you to know that someone cares, right here. And so at the very end, kind of completed that sentiment. Not me, but someone. And then here's the back. So that is my project for today. That was not to happen, but did. I had absolutely no intent of making this. I didn't know that this is what I would spend my time doing today, but this is what I ended up spending my time doing, and I had so much fun. And I just hope that this encourages you to find something in your crafty stash that you might be sitting on that you haven't used in a while because you forgot about it, or because you're too scared to use it, or because you don't know how to use it. Take it out and play and see what happens, you know? It's you can always make flowers, you can make leaves, you don't have to make faces. I'm making faces because I really want to get over my fear of making faces, but don't have to make faces, just play. The snarky comments are from Tim Holtz, the ideology line. It's this. It's I got this as a gift last Christmas. Sandhya Iyer, one amazing card maker and illustrator. She's just her watercolors are fabulous too. She had sent this to me as a Christmas present last year. Small talk, and I love them. I just love how snarky they are. But like, I'm sorry, did I roll my eyes out loud? But I'm not ever going to use these in cards. It's, there's no way I'm sending someone a card with a snarky comment like that. So I'm glad that I was able to use these and find a way to put them in this book, because in this book they make sense. It has a theme. So I just wanted to share with you what I did today, and I had so much fun trying out new things and playing and just being and just doing this for me. And that is what makes me really, really happy. And, when I'm able to do something for me, it's nice to be able to do that. I'm always sharing and I'm always teaching and I'm always, wanting people to do something for themselves, because that's kind of part of my journey too, is to help you find ways to give yourself joy. So remember to do that. Remember to do something that brings you joy. Remember to do something afraid. Remember to play. Remember to explore. And remember, it's just paper. At the end of the day, that's all it is. It's just paper. So again, have fun, and I will see you all soon.